Okay.
Well, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, with a brand new episode of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show, BGC Sports Network. It is your boy, Willie Epting Jr., holding it down, rolling solo to the dopest engineer on the planet, Big Day. What's going on, baseball fans all over the fifth rock from the sun? What is going on? It's been a while since I've talked to you guys, and just in case you have been so socially distant or otherwise hiding under a rock, or maybe just, I don't know, somewhere where there's no technology anywhere. The Los Angeles Dodgers did win the World Series, and they did that over the Tampa Bay Rays in 6 games. A very exciting series indeed. But we're not here to talk about, well, maybe a little bit. Before we go any further, and I bring on this special guest who really ain't a guest no more. He's more like a little big bruh. Before I do all that, man, let me go ahead and tell you who this is brought to you by. This first segment is being brought to you by the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Check us out on YouTube and click the subscribe button at BGC Sports Network 1 and help expand the brand. And also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at BGC Sports 1 for this show on Twitter at Bros of BB. All right, I have the distinct pleasure, honor, and privilege of bringing to the stage, like I said in the intro, he's not a guest anymore. He's more like a little big bruh. And I am talking about none other than catcher from the Texas Rangers. Hip, 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 hop, Jose Trevino. Jose, what's going on, man?
What's up, Willie? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm so glad that you were able to make some time for us, man, to come on the show once again. It's always a privilege, and you always welcome to come on, man, and chop it up about anything that you want to chop it up about. And I know you got some things going on, particularly in Frisco and down in your hometown of Corpus Christi. And we're going to get to that here in a few minutes, man. But as I said in the intro, this last season, unprecedented all the way around. You had the Dodgers to finally wrap up the World Series against the Tampa Bay Rays in all places in Globe Life Park or Globe Life Field.
Yeah.
Talk about the season, man, and just because I remember we talked to you before the season started, and it just got crazy from then on. So when the season actually did start in July, what was your going through your head at that point in time, knowing that the season is going to be starting in July? Normally it's around All-Star break.
Man, honestly, we were just hoping to get it all in. Like, honestly, like, I'm glad that baseball, and everybody that was involved, that we got it done, man. Like, it was a tough thing. We were one of the first sports to get out there and try it. And, like, it was just crazy, man. Like, every other day we were spitting in tubes, like, getting tested, and it was crazy because the protocols that we had as players, like, if we wanted to be around our families, they had to honor that too. So, like, having a 2-year-old son in, a small apartment, that doesn't go well, like that. He's going to be running around trying to burn energy. So it was crazy, man. Everybody had to chip in and everybody did their part, and we got it done. But it was definitely one for the ages, definitely different.
Yeah, and I remember seeing something. It may have been on one of the commercials for one of the networks. I can't remember which one it was. And they were talking to the people about or it was 2 teams. Actually, it was a football commercial, but it had a mixture of all the other sports in it due to the fact that there were no fans in the stands primarily anywhere. So what was it like, man, being in the stadium, not just at home, but on the road with no people in the seats?
Honestly, like, once they pumped in that crowd noise, it was okay. But maybe because I'm a catcher, so I don't even face them. But, like, looking out, it felt normal, and then plus the crowd noise, you were like, oh, okay. But when there wasn't any crowd noise, when we were just playing, like, we were scrimmaging each other, it was just so weird, man. You could hear everything that was going on, everything. So I'm glad that they pumped in the crowd noise because that made a huge difference. Some places were louder than others, but I don't know what the deal was with that. Like, I felt our place was really, really, really loud, like really blasting loud. And then we went to a place like Seattle where it was like really quiet. So it was like, all right, like, that's cool, whatever. And we went to Oakland, and Oakland's place was just like their place. They had drums beating, everything. It was crazy. So, it was definitely different, but man, like, I'm just glad we got it in, man. It was definitely a different season.
Yeah, and as a fan, and first as a fan, and then as a member of the media, it sucked all the way around because I couldn't get in any way whatsoever. So, and I was really looking forward, man, to coming out to the ballpark, the brand new ballpark for that matter. I actually did like a brief interview before the stupid pandemic hit. I did an interview with myself, and I was in front of the stadium, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm so excited, man! I got a new ballpark. It's gonna be air conditioned, no excuses for not going to the game." And then that happened. So you know, when you said that in other places, because the schedule itself was weird, in the fact that you only played teams in the American League West and the American League East. How did that figure in as far as any type of, I don't know, normalcy, or was there no normalcy with that, or what?
No, I mean, it was pretty much normal. Like, we were playing our division. We were like, okay, like, you know, it's familiar. We know where we're traveling to. We know where we're staying. But I know when we would, like, obviously we played each other a lot. You know, that's 2 months. We're just flying by. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it felt normal. It just felt like we were playing in our division, you know, and it felt like a little tournament, honestly. Like, you're like, okay, well, we're going to play the Angels here, and then, you know, a week later, we're going to play the Angels again, or we're going to play the A's here. We're going to play them again in like a couple days, like back and forth, back and forth. So I think baseball did a really good job of scheduling it and stuff, and basically just, you know, getting us on a routine, you know, where we were like, okay, because we couldn't go to the field till a certain time. I think it was like, it might have been 5 hours before the game, when usually you just show up whenever you want to show up. Like, you could show up 9 a.m. if you want and get treatment and do all that stuff. But now, since they put it, they were like, hey, you got to show up like 5 hours before the game, you know, unless you're getting treatment. And then you have to go like every other day. Like I said, you spit in the tube. They have probably so much we wanted to. We had to be there. Like, I remember being there like at 2:00, like waiting by the doors there. Okay, you can come in.
Right. Wow. I mean, that would be like, I guess, for a regular person that's not an athlete, being able to go to the office, but then now all of a sudden you can't go to the office. You're just working from home all the time, or you can go to the office every once in a while just to get some stuff if you need to. All right, man. So I want, because you said something about the testing, and I wanted to ask about that because I was really curious, because there's so many different types of tests out there, and I know you guys were basically getting tested every day.
Every other day. Every other day.
Okay. So
every other day.
So the test that you guys got, what is it called? Is it called the PVR?
It's I couldn't tell you. I don't know the name of it, but it was a saliva tube. Basically like a little saliva tube. You get it, you open it, you spit to the line. There's like this little blue thing that you get, and you twist it on, and the blue stuff kind of like mixes in with your spit, and you scan it, you give them your name, and you check in basically, and you're good to go. And then a couple days, I want to say like a day, you'll know your results. Like, because think about it, like, there's so many people involved with this, like they have to like keep testing. So it was like, okay, well, we gotta, like, you know, at some point we gotta find our results. And sometimes it took like a day and a half, and like if you had a scare or something, they'd let you know right away. But for the most part, like, it was just a lot of spitting. Sometimes you like rolling up to the ballpark, you're like, all right, let me gather some spit real quick. And
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. All right. Once again, Willie Epting Jr., #Brothers of Baseball. Got my big little bro, #brother Jose Trevino, catcher from the Texas Rangers. And we're talking about spitting. and all the COVID tests, man. And, you know, this year, not just in baseball, I mean, I want to, baseball is my favorite sport. It's the sport that I fell in love with first. Is actually the sport that I played the best. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't 5'11" and 195 pounds like everybody else was. So I got looked at a little bit different. But, you know, as far as the game itself, particularly when it got to the postseason, I thought the quality of the play was outstanding. I mean,
unreal, huh?
It was terrific.
Unbelievable.
And when I look at that and think, okay, they played 60 games. It's really truly a matter where every game truly does count because of the shortened season.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I may have
Yep.
I think I may have asked you this the first time you were on the show, but the way that play was and how pristine it was, do you think, and if you can't answer, that's fine, but do you think there's any possible way that Major League Baseball would reduce the season to influence quality play? You don't think so?
I don't think it would be to. I don't know, man. That's a good question. I don't think they would.
Yeah.
I don't think they would, but we don't know. I mean, we don't know. But like you said, like the quality of baseball was good, but like, you know, you're gonna have your games. Like there were some games where it was like, you know, 15-3. You know, it got out of hand quick. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where you had to come into play and be like, okay, like we're probably gonna get beat tonight. Like let's make sure tomorrow we're gonna have our horses ready to roll.
Right.
Like everybody's good to go. But I don't think they'll reduce it because like when you get to the postseason, like I've never been there, but I've been in the playoffs in the minor leagues. But like at that point, everything goes out the window, and it's like who can execute, who can play, you know, who can play the game better, who's not going to make those little mistakes, who's going to be pitching. Like pitchers obviously are really good, and then you know you get the hitters that come in clutch every now and then. But for the most part, I think it's like as soon as you hit the postseason, it's like okay, all bets are off. Here we go. We're trying to play some good, clean baseball. And and honestly, I think that's what we got, man. Like we got a good postseason. Like it was really good all around.
Yeah, and that's something else too that I was thinking about, because maybe not reducing the season to 60 games, but maybe somewhere around the range of maybe 100. I could even see at the most 120. But then you can expand the playoffs like they did this year, and it felt like, to me, as a fan, it felt like that my emotions turned almost with every pitch.
Yeah.
And I can't
definitely.
I can't remember feeling like that as a fan in baseball for probably since I was a kid trying to play myself. And I don't know, man. I just thought it was I thought it was worthy of being mentioned because of how exciting it was. And then the rules. Let's talk about the rules for a second. We got about 2.5 minutes left to go in this first segment.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the rules for a second. Which one of those rules did you like the most? Which one did you like the least?
Oh man, like I think we didn't chew as much gum and seeds. Like no way. Like they were like no. Like if you were to have a piece of gum, it would be communal. So like you had to have like a baggie of like 6 pieces of gum, and it was your baggie. Like it was your baggie, so you couldn't spit it out. You couldn't do anything like that. If you were done with it, you had to throw it away, like that kind of stuff. I mean, they weren't really honest about the spitting part, because I mean, once you get in the zone and you start spitting, you're just like, oh, like oops, I forgot. Like, sorry, this is what I do. But I mean, most of it was like, okay, like, you know, this is what we got to do to get it done. And honestly, like you look at it that way and you're like, all right, if this is what we got to do, we got to do it.
And wasn't there something put into place? Because I knew about the gum, but was there something put in place about sunflower seeds? You guys weren't allowed sunflower seeds?
Oh no, yeah, no seeds, 0.
Oh wow,
0 seeds. Yeah,
and
crazy, huh?
No
0 seeds,
no smokeless tobacco, none of that.
No, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't do. If you did it on the low. But for the most part, like it was like no spitting, no nothing like that. Crazy,
unbelievable. Man, so that in itself is I don't know. It's like, I mean, I was an athlete one time. I never made it to the highest level of nothing, but when I did play, I played. And you know, spitting or not spitting, but gum chewing on the basketball court was part of the deal for your mouth not to get dry and all those things. I couldn't even imagine being
start relaxing.
Yeah, well, yeah, and to me, it kind of put me in a little bit of a rhythm. Look, Jose, man, we're coming down at the end of the first segment, so we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back on the other side, man, we're gonna continue to talk about the rules, and then we're gonna get into your event. So, y'all make sure y'all come on back on the other side of the break and holler at us. Willie Epting Jr., my man Jose Trevino, to the dopest engineer in the game. Baseball fans all over the planet. y'all come on back and holler at us.